Hello everybody, my name is Matthew Miller, and for this week's discussion board I will be talking about the Central Intelligence Agency, otherwise known as the CIA. So the CIA is a civilian foreign intelligence service that the United States of America uses to gather, process, and analyze national security information from around the world. Just a quick background on the CIA. We'll go over some of its history. The CIA was founded in 1947. The CIA was founded when Harry S. Truman signed the National Security Act into law. The CIA is based out of Langley, Virginia. The official motto is "The work of a nation, the center of intelligence." And the unofficial motto is "And you shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free." So the CIA has around 22,000 estimated employees, an average annual budget of $15 billion. So when the CIA was created, it was created as a way for the United States of America to collect, analyze, evaluate, and disseminate foreign intelligence, and also to perform covert actions. So as of 2013, the budget from the CIA has 5 top priorities, and the priorities are counterterrorism, being number 1. Number 2 is non-proliferation of nuclear weapons and weapons of mass destruction. Number 3 is warning and informing American leaders of important overseas events, mainly in the Middle East, anything that has any sort of importance that happens over there. Counterintelligence, with China, Russia, Iran, Cuba, and Israel being described as priority targets. And cyber intelligence. So currently, the current director of the CIA is John Brennan. So now that we have a quick background of the CIA, we're going to talk about some of the successes and some of the failures of the CIA. So we'll start with the failures. So some of the major embarrassments of the CIA, going back most recently, would be the Bay of Pigs. This was a failed military invasion of Cuba, undertaken and sponsored by the CIA and paramilitary with the Cuban military. This was in April 1961. So a little backstory on this: the CIA welcomed Fidel Castro into America, and they tried to get him to change over to democracy. They wanted to stop the influence that the Soviet Union at the time was having on Cuba. Fidel Castro pretty much said no, and the CIA went in there and tried to overthrow the government. It did not work. Another interesting topic we could talk about is when the CIA U-2 flying plane was shot down over the Soviet Union. So this was a plane that was deemed a plane that wasn't going to be able to shot down because there wasn't the missile defense systems at the time that had the capacity to just shoot as high up as the plane flew. This was obviously false, as the USSR shot the plane down on May 1st, 1960. The pilot was recovered. There was a long scandal whether or not he betrayed the United States of America, whether or not he gave over intelligence. He ended up coming back to America, and he was put on trial, and he was eventually acquitted of all charges. So the next thing that we're going to talk about is 9/11. So 9/11 is really looked at as a failure of the CIA. It was one of the main issues was dissemination of information. So you had the CIA gathering and analyzing all of this information that were processed throughout the world and home, but it was never, given to the FBI. It was never given to field offices in New York and in Washington, D.C., and this was really more of a failure of dissemination of information between the CIA and the FBI. This would become to get fixed, and you will now see a more integrated intelligence system now, and we have 9/11 to thank for that. So just to really kind of talk about some myths about the CIA. So the CIA, even though marijuana is legalized in Colorado, Washington, and a ton of other states, 20 other states have it legalized for medical purposes, you are not allowed to smoke marijuana and be in the CIA. They do drug test you, and they do polygraphs, so this would hurt your application if you would ever apply to the CIA. And also another myth is that you got to spy on your family. That's a stupid myth. Obviously, that's not true. And if you have tattoos, you are able to apply to the CIA. They don't look down on you if you have tattoos or whether or not. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you learned something about the CIA.